Lucky Boys Podcast.
Conspiracy theorists and the way people perceive them has changed greatly in the year 2020. Whereas prior, most people will look at conspiracy theory or theorists as crazy or dismiss them as people who are unreliable sources of information. And for whatever reason, they are becoming more mainstream. And I didn't really know how to feel about that. Do I feel like I should be concerned or worry because there's fake news being pressed out? But then it made me go another level and think, why are more people subscribing to conspiracy theories as fact? Is it because real news is unreliable and becoming fake news?
Obviously, I feel like the overall news outlet, it's so distorted nowadays. You know, I mean, you could always do fact check. I think that's the best way to do your own research, right? Really what's out there, and kind of really also always still be open-minded, because what you hear, whether it's conspiracies or something with the politics, you know, you have to be very still open-minded to make your own assumption than just believing what's out there, right?
And I also think that people are adhering to it because it's actually seeping into politics. You know, with the whole QAnon thing,
Illuminati.
Now, the Illuminati and the cabal of, you know, pedophiles.
What do you mean that it's seeping into politics?
There's actually legislation right now in I think in the Senate to actually call out conspiracies and actually have it banned.
What?
Yeah, this is specifically relevant now because of QAnon. So basically QAnon, the conspiracy theory about that is that there's this cabal of sex offenders, pedophiles, politicians, corruption in politics, and they have this person, a Q, a leader of this group to combat all this like corruption in politics, and they believe that Donald Trump is like God sent to lead them
to break the cabal,
to break up the cabal.
Wait. So this is all right. So this group believes that Donald Trump is the savior.
Yeah,
and
to fight corruption,
corruption and pedophilia.
Yeah, in politics, that's happening. Apparently, there's this all-powerful, like Illuminati cabal that's consisting of sex offenders, pedophiles, and politicians.
I'll play along since you said let's keep an open mind. I have questions.
I have a lot of questions about QAnon too.
So why would, number one, I want to go back to what you said about legislation. Why would they want to create legislation to outlaw conspiracies though?
When they're not even taken seriously.
The thing with QAnon is actually taking very seriously because they have millions of subscribers to this conspiracy about the dirty politicians and pedophiles that are running the government right now. So, and they're actually the QAnon supporters. They're actually going into politics right now to kind of infiltrate.
No.
So that's why.
Wait, is that for real?
Yeah, that's what I read. Yeah.
Wait, that's a fact? Like there's QAnon, like spies?
QAnon is becoming more of a political party. Like there's actually a political party.
But do they hold an office? Do they hold any chairs?
I don't think.
Like, is there any senator or governor or mayor or any of those seats where they go, yeah, I'm part of this group?
No. There's no like outright current politician that's like kind of okay. This is what I'm supporting. But there are politicians actually reciting some of the these thoughts of QAnon supporters. So they're actually talking about these things
That's a slippery slope though too.
In world news in local politics right now. So that's why it's becoming more dangerous, the fact that actual politicians are actually talking about this.
Wait, so are they really taking steps towards making conspiracies illegal?
Yeah, there's definitely
No
talks in
fucking
the
way.
government. Yeah.
Doesn't that go against?
I mean, it goes against free speech, definitely. But if it's causing harm to people,
Isn't that a slippery slope to begin controlling the narrative 100%? So whoever owns the media, like who gets to say what's a conspiracy and what's not? That's my question.
Right.
Well,
Right. Because say like if I say something and then you want to label me as a conspiracy theorist, but what if it's a fact?
Mm-hmm.
What if something's a fact and then right away you're saying I'm doing something illegal and I'm like, wait, no, I'm not. That
I mean,
was-
like you know,
this is like facts.
I mean, like if you look into the QAnon phenomenon, it's sort of like they're fighting. It's kind of crazy that they're fighting like cannibalistic pedophiles and corrupt politicians. They're all in this secret society. I mean, that's kind of out there to me. I don't, I mean, it's really based on like what the conspiracy theory is, right? So, I mean, like there are some conspiracy theories
That's what I'm saying. Where do they draw the lines? If they're saying like there's flying pink elephants that's
and there's no evidence
molesting
of that. Yeah.
people's feet,
Yeah.
like then you're gonna go, all right, that's fucking crazy, right? So, but then where do you draw the line to going? All right, there's actual politicians who are stealing money, who are dirty, etc. Like where do you draw that line? That's what I'm saying. Between the pink elephants and the people stealing money.
I guess the absurdity of the claim,
But then they can
How
claim
absurd that is.
But they can claim absurdity, right?
Well, I mean, you're talking about like if you're talking about investigating a conspiracy, like where if Al Qaeda was funded by the U.S. government, then there is a valid point to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there should be investigation into that. But if you're talking about like if you're throwing out stuff like, these are cannibals, a group of cannibals that are global power, powerful politicians.
Mm-hmm.
Then is there really
Wait, hold up. But then you gotta
investigation
say,
that should be
are
going to
there
that?
cannibals out there?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
I'm
so
sure
can
there's
you-
cannibals out
so can
there.
you-
Sergeant Steve Lee that we had on a previous podcast. I mean, that fucking blew my mind. That to me seems absolutely unbelievable. I told him that to his face, and he was like, "Believe it." The facts are out there.
But that's corruption in law enforcement.
But a lot of people don't believe that can happen at that level.
A lot of people would never even think of something like that in New York.
So I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Like I
here.
would never. I that didn't even come to my mind. When I was watching the podcast, I was like, wait, what?
you didn't believe that there was corruption in law enforcement
At that level,
Like in such a
the
big
the
level.
way
yeah.
Steve said it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? No way. No way. And
See,
I got to
average
tell you
person
what,
would not.
the majority of people that still don't believe that or not even aware of it. You know why? Because that's not how we're raised to believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, if the majority of the people did believe that, these people would be busted or they would find a way to hide it much better.
Well, yeah, it's been hidden. It's people retire and early and the stories and all these
There's loopholes
cases
to get away with pretty much
Right.
murder.
I'm open to the idea that there's other life forms other than human beings.
I'm skeptical about aliens. And it's weird because I believe in a higher power, and people are gonna probably say like you believe
in a God.
You believe in God, but you don't believe in aliens. It's kind of weird. But yeah, I don't know. I just because I haven't seen any kind of like concrete evidence of aliens. That's why I have subscribed to that notion. Is there a possibility that there was life on other planets but doesn't exist now? Yeah, most likely.
But
So,
so,
but
what
then-
concrete
but then how can you
evidence
say you
do
don't
you
believe in
have
them?
of God?
That's the thing. Like for me, it's more of a feeling. Like I know that my life is guided by a higher power in some way. Like
Or by your genes.
my genes.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like the God gene?
like scientists like literally found out where if we get hit by certain parts of our brain, right? Apparently it's already embedded in our genetics.
Hold on. But before we go into that, I want to finish your thought.
Yeah.
So you believe in a God and not an alien. Like, I still don't understand, like, why that. So it's just because you feel that there's a
I
God.
feel there's a presence kind of guiding your life, and then kind
So
of.
what were your thoughts when the Pentagon came out and said that we may have discovered UFOs? This was reported by
That's
the
a
New York
UFO.
Times.
That's a UFO. That's not alien. That's a UFO, unidentified flying object. That's what a UFO is. So it could have been like a ship made by the Russians, or a balloon, a weather balloon.
Okay, so let's go. Fine. So what about all these sightings of these unidentified flying objects that
defies gravity?
People seen all over, from officials to random people. How do you explain that? What do you think that they're seeing?
Definitely, most likely the possibility is new technologies of aerial crafts that are being developed by different countries.
Since centuries ago?
When there was no airplanes?
Right.
So you're talking about like
throughout human history.
You're talking about like
not prehistoric, but
Egyptian times and
throughout human. It's in the paintings. It's been in some of the writings that they have in their books, in their texts, in their literature. So how do you explain that? Do you think that they had technology back then?
I'm sure some sort of technology that they couldn't explain.
So you think that humans made airplanes back in the day and just kept the crazy DL?
The technology that they couldn't explain back then was what they try to interpret as higher beings.
Have you ever looked at how much space there is outside of Earth?
Yeah, it's
in the
infinite.
universe,
Yeah, it's
in galaxy?
practically infinite.
So you're talking about this entire space. There's nothing.
No, let me clarify.
No life.
No. I said
no alien life. No. You said you don't believe in aliens.
I said I don't believe in aliens, but I didn't say that there weren't like living organisms in other planets before.
So living organism or intelligent life.
Intelligent life. I don't believe there's another intelligent life out there.
You don't.
In this infinite universe.
That humongous space. You don't think that there's intelligent life. You think humans derive from that, and that's it. So just that one little speck that you can barely see when you zoom out is the only place that fosters life.
I mean, I just can't see it. I mean, like there's stories about aliens and stuff like that, but then I just haven't seen any concrete proof. Even when the Pentagon came out with the UFOs, they weren't even clear about that. They just said like, oh, UFOs, but they didn't specify aliens. So that's why I'm just like, they're probably like, putting out this information, and it's not even a big deal. They know it's not a big deal. They just want people to like go, oh, we're gonna make this a big deal, because human beings try to make a big deal out of nothing sometimes. So we're gonna put this UFO thing out there, and it's really. So
they put it out there to fuck with people, is what you're saying?
I think so. I honestly think so.
Well, I mean, I guess with the Pentagon part, the fact that they actually say, hey, okay, we will really not sure what this is, but we also agree with you. Like whoever out there still saw it, they don't know what it is. But Pentagon agreeing to finally they saying something like that is like, okay. So bro, I'm not the only one.
You are absolutely insane. Fuck that. I'm just gonna go out and say it.
Do I want to leave the possibility I might be wrong?
Absolutely insane.
I'll leave the possibility that I might be wrong.
Is it also because of religion? I mean, like, do you think that God only made Earth and that's it? No other beings out there, intelligent beings out there in this infinite universe? That's another question to ask yourself, maybe.
That's an interesting question. Yo, he ain't even religious like that. Stop it.
I'm just saying, like
you ain't you ain't that religious where you can like cite scripture and all like. No, bro, no, Norm, you fucking with me, man.
What are you saying? You're saying that like I'm bullshitting right now? That I don't? That I got to be, bro. I actually believe in aliens?
How can you believe that there's no intelligent life outside of Earth?
I just don't believe that.
How can you believe that? That's so naive, ignorant. That's like deliberate ignorance.
I'm saying like, I don't believe it. It doesn't mean that I could be, totally right on it.
Are you saying that there was aliens maybe at a different time, but they're just not in our time right now? Because remember, the time scale of the universe is vast. So have you guys heard about the Fermi paradox?
I have not. What is that?
So it gets a little complicated, I guess, when you get deep dive in it. But the most simplest is basically that civilization go at a certain scale on technological advance. And he said either they kind of like, I guess if it could go to nuclear, they blew up themselves. they blow themselves up to, or they don't reach the technological advance, or they come to a point where they already reached a several level of like civilization 1, civilization 2, and then they kind of got bored and just like they're in a sleep mode, or they said like whoever that was before, they've been through it and they're done. Like they just annihilated themselves, or they didn't.
Like a civilization that kind of went extinct.
Extinct, yeah. So they said like the civilization arises and they get to a time scale and then they disappear. Imagine a civilization is already 1 million years ahead, right? Or even forget about that, 50,000 years ahead.
2 decades ago, you were to have that conversation with me and saying, "Hey, Will, all them DVDs you got right there, you're never going to use them. 20 years from now, all this like space you're trying to, it's going to be in the air. We're going to call it the cloud. And you can pull from that information right on your phone. That little StarTech Motorola you got right there, or that Nextel, you can watch movies on a cell phone. You can stream it. How you like that? And it'll have a whole library. I would say, shut the fuck up. Get out of here. No way. Mm-hmm. How? And that phone you got, you're not even going to call people anymore with it. It's not really going to be a phone. We're going to call it a phone, but it's not going to be a phone.
And you don't need even to touch it. You could
it's
just
really just a supercomputer in your pocket.
You could speak to it and tell them to call.
Right? If you're just thinking about when we went to the moon, the technology that we have in our pockets within our phones, this day and age is greater than the technology they had on that space shuttle going to the moon. I don't even think we would be able to conceptualize that. It's going to be on some Star Trek level shit.
So considering the Fermi paradox that you explained, like during the timeline of different civilizations, do you think that, like I said, I'm not a huge believer of aliens, but do you think that we're right now the human race is like the most advanced race? So you're saying like 50,000 years from now, other civilizations are just developing, and then by the time 50,000 years pass, the human race is one civilization, and there's other civilizations coming after us.
I believe that it could be already civilization that already happening, that kind of come and gone.
They might have destroyed themselves already.
Or because like everybody is like, why is the universe so quiet? We should hear something. Remember, the amount of time it takes for microwaves or radio waves to travel. Our civilization already probably got to that point, and then they blew themselves up. But that noise is still coming to us. That's still coming to us. So by the time we get it, they probably already destroyed themselves, or not, or they might be still there. But I'm just saying, like, because it takes the distance and the vastness. Now, you guys know about interstellar travel. For us, we don't. It sounds like it's impossible, but you know what? We've done the impossible. Like so many different things that we thought it was impossible, we made it possible. So I think it's all about finding the technology to get to a point where you do get to interstellar level. But then you got to start thinking about, okay, as a species, like, do you think that way anymore? Is it about colonization? Is it about, a mission of peace, or to help other small young civilization to help them grow?
When we can find a way to colonize other planets and mine for their resources, I believe that after several hundred years there, we'll be able to have a technology and because of the resources that they have available either on that moon or that planet, that we'll be able to mine those and extrapolate what they have there.
The properties to get them to that point where it's quantum travel.
Right, where it's abundant.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind, some planets, right, there's, I forget, was it Uranus or it rains diamonds.
Really?
Check it out. So there's I think it's Uranus, but it rains diamonds, and there's also one of I think Saturn's moon, Europa.
Yeah,
is mostly water. They prove that there's a lot of water present on that moon, and what the theory goes is where there's water, there's life. If you look at Earth, anywhere, even in the depths of the darkest points of the ocean where there shouldn't be life, they're finding life because they're getting these robots and these submarines that's able to go all the way down that handles that pressure, and they stick a camera with a flashlight on it or a headlight, whatever, and they're able to see all this life, and they're like mind blown.
Like how can it be possible? But from what we learn is life finds a way.
Okay, so yeah, you were right. So on Uranus and Neptune, scientists forecast rainstorms of solid diamonds. So the gems are formed in a hydrocarbon-rich oceans of slush that swathe the gas giants' solid cores.
What if we live in a society where our scientists are all communicating, our leaders are all communicating, and we're not trying to, where there's a trust where we're not worried about using that to overtake someone else. We look at us as one. And because of that, we're taking it from there and moving it towards other planets. I mean, how much faster would we excel?
Oh, man, if that ever happens, I mean, I would say we'd already be in the moon and Mars and on the outer rim, as they say it. That would be amazing, because I think even today, the level of technological advances that are happening and that are out there, right? If you really take all that into it and like have the most greatest minds work on it, we'd be out there by the stars. Like, here's another thing: the overall warping time, the overall mathematics. Like, if it's possible, it's there. But what do we really need? We need the funding. We need the manpower to develop it.
What are you talking about warping time? What do you mean, time travel?
Yeah. No. To move to the faster than speed of light. So basically, the warp speed. Warp speed.
Yeah.
Like, what's on Star Trek?
Bending
it's
space.
a reality today.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like wormholes?
No.
Or
so
teleportation?
I don't know if you guys learned it. Like, if this is on, they have a NASA concept of like creating spacecrafts that could go faster than the speed of light.
Speed of light. Okay.
But that's impossible. You can't go faster than the speed of light.
That's the thing. It is possible. Mathematically, it's possible.
Oh, so they found an equation.
Yeah.
So it's like, remember, a lot of the things, even with the rockets, everything that they did is first mathematically done, and then they put it into reality.
Wait, can you look that up? Can you see if they found a mathematical equation that says that going faster than the speed of light is a possibility? That's insane.
Everything, even like the rocket launch, everything was in the beginning. It was a theory and mathematics, and then they put it into reality. So it's all about funding, I would say. Like, and having
That's true.
Having more competitions happening. It's good for competition because
what's modern day competition that develops technology fast. Yeah. You know what that is, right?
What do you
war.
Well, yeah.
Anytime we go to war, or we are in a position to invade something, that's when technologies are created.
So, I've definitely totally agree with the whole, war kind of generates different technology. I mean, like, look at a lot of the technology that we have in our day-to-day home is from NASA, going into the space race, right? But I think today's world, we're going through another space race. Like, you got Elon Musk, SpaceX, you got Virgin Galactic. You got Jeff Bezos' company, Blue Origin. Yeah. So, and of course now China's doing it, India is doing it, and they're all like in the rush to
Virgin Galactic. Was that
they're more like
Richard Branson?
Richard Branson, that's like, I guess he's the main person to run the company. But I'm just saying, like, it's I feel like it's a little bit, it's not more towards war, but more towards I guess, like, who can be the next country colonize the moon, and then if mining resource, or to the asteroid, how can you mine resource from the asteroids, and then of course going to Mars. So I think every country's right now like doing their own thing, which helps innovate, and I think it's a more like I guess it's a different kind of war, right? Or like almost like a Cold War, right? Like to advance your technology the fastest to be the first country. Imagine you're able to mine these asteroids that's worth billions to trillions of natural resources that's on them, somehow bring it to the moon, and then from the moon to, I don't know, use the resource to go to Mars and colonize Mars somehow,
Right. What are you finding over there?
There is a formula to measure the speed of light, but it's physically impossible to do so because of firstly, the physical consequence of traveling at the speed of light is that your mass becomes infinite, and you slow down. According to relativity, the faster you move, the more mass you have. So
That
traveling
makes
at the speed of light in the conventional way is impossible.
So, but is there a mathematical formula that
There's a mathematical equation that measures the speed of light.
Right,
but
but
doesn't
do they
prove
find-
doesn't prove that we can travel.
To create a ship like that into warp space time, you need tremendous amount of energy. Then the only other thing that gives you that tremendous amount of energy is I would say it's
black
kind of a
hole.
black hole. And
That makes so
when
much
they do
sense.
the particle acceleration, they do create
Yeah.
mini tiny black holes. Obviously,
They
it doesn't
do.
last that long. But if you imagine you're able to
The
create one and
Hydron-
then control it,
the Hydron Collider? What is it in Switzerland?
and it's getting bigger and bigger. They're building bigger and bigger. Yeah.
That's crazy. And people were complaining about that.
Yeah.
There
And they're
was-
learning so much
There were
from
some
it.
alarmists going, "Hey, you guys keep fucking around. You're gonna create a black hole that's gonna freaking suck us all
Suck us
in."
all up. Yeah.
The Large Hadron Collider. It's the world's largest high energy particle collider, and the largest machine in the world.
Where is it at? Is it in Switzerland?
It's beneath the France-Switzerland border.
I think we might take a leap again if we are able to, about like them building the quantum computers, and they could
Yeah.
solve
With
trill-
artificial intelligence. That's getting
so
scary.
I think they will kind of solve these problems for us, whether it's like space travel and intergalactic. These are the most complex, but also given our situation like colonizing Mars, there's a lot of challenges, right? There's a lot more radiation there, right? The atmosphere is so thin, so like me personally, based on all the things that goes in my head, like why can't we build an artificial magnetic field for Mars, which kind of helps keep the ozone layer together and
and
even
the radiation out to
Yeah.
protect yourself from that.
and then if we do melt the ice, like it just doesn't go up in the space because of the thin atmosphere, it actually builds it stronger. So I mean, that's me. But like imagine you got a quantum computer, you put all these variables in, and they split it up.
I mean,
and
I
do
think the
best to do it.
technology definitely will exist in the future.
Yeah.
Because I just read something recently that back in the day, during Vietnam, the United States, they tried to actually augment and change the weather.
They can actually create rain.
They inject aerosols in the sky and,
Right.
and artificially create rain.
Yeah.
It's called cloud seeding. They
Yeah.
do like cloud seedings, which is we are already manipulating the weather overall.
Do you think that's the cause of climate change? Because
no.
we're manipulating the weather?
No, of course not.
I-
if you want to talk about climate
well,
change, I think people don't understand the most
I
basic
think-
stuff.
Or is
I
it a
think
natural
it's-
phenomenon? Is it a natural
I think it's
phenomenon?
both. I think it's
Or
a natural phenomenon, and I think we're contributing to that
the
as well.
changes in the
I think
the weather.
whatever's happening naturally will happen, right? The hurricanes, that's still going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
Right. If we were like completely green, the whole world was green, right? It does not mean the end of tornadoes and hurricanes and whatnot.
Yeah,
But
it's still the natural cycle of the planet.
for example, if we start smoking, right, or we put in unhealthy foods, right, what's going to happen to our bodies?
It's going to deteriorate.
I believe it's the same as Earth. If we keep smoking it up,
Think of the planet as a fishbowl, right? Except it has its own natural cycle. Okay, and now a lot of the the dead trees, the dead animal, everything, all that went like it within the natural cycle. It put itself certain places where it's good, it's there. Now, our overall natural weather system, the water, the stream of water that goes through the Atlantic, and believe it or not, it's all connected, right? Now imagine, you something that moves within the planet, where physical beings, we move, right? And now we go in and we dig these things and we put everything everywhere. We create a different types of energy and we introduce it in this environment now.
We change
now
the
you're
whole
corrupting
landscape.
the system, the overall natural cycle. It's the most simplest way to think. I feel like a lot of climate change deniers, they don't understand that. They think we're so small and insignificant that they think we can make an influence in our planet.
Huge impact.
where was that place? Yellowstone, where they reintroduced wolves to the environment. And because the wolves were reintroduced to Yellowstone, they were able to control the capacity of other animals that were destroying that ecosystem. And because of that, it allowed more fertilization to happen. It allowed streams to happen. There was more water present. Everything was blossoming. Life became more abundant just by introducing wolves back into the habitat.
Let's see here. It says in 1872, when Yellowstone was designated as a national park, there was a killing programs that killed thousands of wolves. This removed, however, unintended consequences for the park. So instead, the elk population grew, and that kind of changed the landscape.
It changed the whole environment.
So when they reintroduced the wolves, that thinned out the elk population, and it helped bring out ecological phenomenon known as the trophic cascade.
We're going through one of the biggest extinctions right now.
Yeah, so the 3 countries that use the most fossil fuels are China, United States, and India.
It's crazy that these the world leaders, they're really not taking into consideration of what's happening today. They're the leaders on making pollutions, but they're also they're like causing, what do you call it, well, not just the market leaders, but like the whole world. We're in a situation right now that's causing the next mass extinction. Now, if it's not just few birds dying or some animals dying, this is like animals dying in the millions. If you look at the numbers from 10 years ago to now, if you look at the numbers of like polar bear to tigers, elephants, and of course human.
Well, that's because we're taking their habitat. Is that not?
We're taking their habitat, but we're also putting pollution in their environment, like plastic. Their fishes eat plastics. Birds eat plastics. Birds get caught up in plastic. Fishes get caught up in plastic. Yeah. So what happens is, and let's say once it goes to their digestive system, it becomes microbeads, and they, believe it or not, you come back, that stuff comes back on your plate.
Yeah.
And then you eat it. And they said we, as humans, we eat now certain parts of microparts of plastic every day.
And you're saying that that's already happening right now?
Yep.
So where we created irreversible damage and these animals no longer exist on Earth?
Yes.
Because of us?
That's correct.
Which animals?
I can't give you top, but it's just not one. There's actually a lot. So
animals that went extinct in 2020?
And also
I haven't heard that because this hasn't hit any of the news cycle that I subscribe to. I haven't read anything about a mass extinction
that's happening right now. Wow.
I have heard
it's sad, but
of animals being added to the endangered species list, but I haven't heard of
mass extinctions happening.
Of animals being wiped out.
Yep. It's happening. It's sad. I am just.
It's happening, it's happened.
No, it's happening right now. Well, it's already there are some animals that did go already extinct
this year,
because
2020
to 2019, 2017, but it's because of human activity. So I mean,
like I know the white rhino is.
I mean, there's
only like 1 or 2 left.
There's a huge list of animals being extinct from 2019 to 2020. We see like the Sumatran rhino, the Chinese paddlefish, this soft-shelled turtle, the Indian cheetah.
Oh shit, the soft-shelled turtle?
Yeah, so the Yangtze giant soft-shelled turtle. So it's probably in China.
And that's because they Because they probably kill those turtles and eat them.
Well, mass extinction means like it's a number of factors that factor into that. It's like climate change,
and
the habitat.
I know the rhinos,
volcanic eruptions, like geological changes in the environment that all affects mass extinction.
To your point,
which is happening all over the world right now. Yeah. And we're technically the cause of it.
Are there any other animals?
Actually, we are the cause of it.
The Indo-Chinese tiger, the Sphinx macaw, which is a bird, Cantarina pupfish, a lot of aquatic animals as well.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
The fuck? How come it's not like mainstream news? This is crazy.
Because
this is relevant. This should hit the news cycle. I know,
we're too busy about like who's knowing going to win the president.
Like, what the fuck? That's crazy.
People don't understand that you mess with one of the ecosystem, it affects everything else.
Like they're literally extinct. There's no more of them ever again.
Yeah. I mean, there are also animals that are on the verge of extinction.
Which one's on the verge now?
I gotta pull that up, but
yeah, I know the white rhino.
I'm pretty sure there's a huge list.
Yo, this is terrifying. Now that hits different now.
It's terrifying. But at the same time, you got to think about. I think people are in the sense of now than what's for our children. Like what we could, what we leave to our children at the end of the day, our next generation, right? And people don't care about it.
I don't want to go to my children or my grandchildren and say, sorry, we used it all up. There's none left for you.
Yeah. The thing is, we could prevent it. We have the technology. We have the science.
But here's the problem.
But we don't want to.
It's not that we don't want to. It's that it's not lucrative. There's no money.
There's no benefit.
Right.
You're right.
It's terrifying. I've never been more excited and afraid of the future than I am today.
No, I totally agree with you on that. And it's not that our planet didn't have this already. It did. It has a natural cycle. The fishes reproduce. Right now, like we're getting into a position where we're overfishing, right? I don't know if you guys recently heard on the news that Indonesia, their government blew up some fishery from China that they were illegally fishing there, and you got to be in the extreme to blow up the ship itself. Like, okay, you're violating our waters, and just blowing it up.
Right. So in Indonesia,
yeah, Indonesian waters,
they
blew up the Chinese fishery.
Who blew them up?
The Indonesian government or their army.
What?
Yeah, they blew it up. So I'm like, that's good. That's a strong message. Like, don't come in our waters and overfish.
And the Chinese didn't clap back?
Well, I mean, they were on their waters.
I mean, they were in the wrong, I guess, because they're international waters.
Bro, you think China looks at it like that?
Well, yeah, I get it. It looks like...
Well, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what's the overall precaution.
Like, they're not going to let someone destroy their ship and get away with it?
It was regular fisheries, and it could be,
Oh, it's just a fishing boat?
Yeah, but like I thought about 2 fishing boats that I saw on the article.
Damn,
they blew it up. But I think it's
you're taking my fish.
I
no, that's not gonna happen.
No, I feel bad for.
If I can't have it, nobody can.
Exactly.
I feel bad for the people that were in the fishery. I don't know if they're actually people dying in there, whatever the case is. But at the same time, I'd say it sends a strong message saying, okay, fish, but there's got to be some kind of control. Our population is still growing, right? If we don't have some kind of a sustainable environment, which our planet already had, we just come in and just messed everything up.
If you zoom out, it's very barbaric. I think people 100 years from now will look at the way we treat our environment and go, "What the fuck?
What's wrong with that?
What is wrong with you guys, man? Like, this is beautiful. Why are you chopping down all these fucking trees? Like, this land is beautiful. This air is amazing. What are you doing? What the fuck? Look at these beautiful animals. They feel. Why are you slaughtering them like that? Like just torturing them to death.
But aren't our backs against the wall right now?
It doesn't feel that way yet.
Well, you had the pandemic. You have mass extinction. I think climate change.
But you could
that there are extraterrestrials.
But if you go back 100 years, it'll feel that way, like the world's ending too. If you go back 50 years, it'll feel like the world was ending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's always for that generation. For each generation, they have their. It feels like the world is ending, but it's really not moment. I think for every decade, there's like a new shit that's going on.
Yeah.
Right. But my point is when it's for real.
They all know. They even Saudi Arabia, they all know that eventually they're gonna have to give up oil. They know that. Even like in Dubai, I forgot the one of the king or one of the prime minister. He did a presentation on that. Okay, like Dubai and United Emirates, we have to start moving for our dependence on oil money. Right, everything we're doing is based on majority of the money is coming from there. Mm-hmm. So they're like, what can we do to have other source of revenue coming in? How can we be sustainable?
Time is coming. Mm-hmm. It's inevitable that the change is happening.
Yes.
So right now they have to make those leaps or diversify.
As a consumer, it's cool to go green now and have electric vehicles. They're making it cool. Well, Tesla made it. I think Tesla made it cool. It's cool. So the consumer, there's a demand for it. Now the demand, there's money. There's money in this game. So Now all the automakers are going, oh snap, okay, this is the future. I can't deny this anymore. I cannot be in yesterday's game when everybody's already a few weeks ahead of me. So they're playing catch up right now.
It's either you adapt as a company or you're just like every other company.
Change is the one constant that I've seen throughout my entire life. That's why it is so important to be able to adapt as an individual and as a company and as a country and as a civilization. We have to adapt in order to survive. And that's why I do look at the glass half full. I do believe human nature is to evolve and adapt as a society.
Well, I totally agree on that, and I think it's good to have hope. Sometimes it might feel like Graham and I, you know what California did, that gave me hope, because it shows that we, like, first of all, as a country, we need to pass laws for sustainability, right? To really improve what we like. You don't want to be stuck with what you've been doing 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You want to move in the future, right? Even as an individual, you want to grow. You got to learn to change. You got to learn to change for the better. So as a country, California just became an example. Now I want New York to do the same.
New York's not going to get there for a while.
But I'm just saying, but it's an example. And if it's working for one person, like what Elon did,
but that
he changed the whole game.
But the California policy is within a certain amount of time, we're going to try to achieve this.
Yes.
So they're already making the implementation. Yeah. So, I mean, New York can do the same thing. Okay, by 10 years, we're going to be, carbon free, but who knows?
10 years in New York.
But you could say it, but if you
see that timeline.
Implement those procedures or like the certain things so passing certain laws and enforcing it. Plastic, huge issue, but we're still using plastic. So New York's banned the plastic bags.
Plastic bags, yeah.
Whoever can make a straw that feels good,
there's
a lot of money in that, because those cardboard straws are nasty.
Doesn't turn into mush.
It like the first sip is a little jarring, right? Like where I'm serious. Like the first time I had it, I believe it was at like a Starbucks, right? And they first tried to give me a sippy cup. I was like, I'm putting my mouth around this shit. I was like, where's my straw at? And they said, oh, okay, you want a straw? I was like, yeah, can I get a straw? And then they gave me a straw. I didn't think anything. I was like, oh, it feels different. I put it in. As soon as it fucking touched my lip, I was like, what the fuck is this? It made, like, if the drink that I usually have makes me this happy, it just dropped it. Like, significant, like 70%. Like, I couldn't even concentrate on a drink. Every time the shit hit my lip, I was just like, yo, this is... No wonder they gave me a sippy cup.
I think the way I feel when I get the paper straws, it's like Mission Impossible. You only have a certain amount of time frame to drink your drink before it just disintegrates and then not have any use for it at all.
Yeah, and I try hard not to put my tongue on it because it'll fuck it up even more. I gotta try to make my lips all dry and like it just...
Well, they do have like metal straws that people like bring in their purses and their,
right. But come on, man, that's nasty too. Like you gotta think about it because all the dust and all the shit goes inside the straw.
Well, they have a holder.
Clean it. They'll
have a holder.
You gotta have like a toothbrush holder for that shit now.
Basically, yeah.
They have reusable straws now.
Imagine you're on a date. You know what I mean? Imagine you're on a date with a girl, and then you just go, hold on, pap. You whip out this little metal straw you put in. Hey girl, so
you'd be like, you're environmentally conscious. Oh man, I fall in love with you right now.
That's so sexy.
Yeah, that's so sexy.
I don't know.
Care about the environment.
I don't know, man. Unless we make it a social norm. But right now, I'm telling you, if I see,
I thought I was.
If I'm just hanging out with my boy and you whipped out a metal straw, I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean,
I would probably.
Come on, I'm not even gonna lie. Like as of right now, I mean, maybe in the future it becomes a social norm, but right now,
he might have inspired you.
Carry your own straw, bro.
I'm gonna start doing this.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing it. Like, you might inspire someone, but it might look weird, in the beginning. But it's like, okay, I get why you're doing it.
Imagine I pick up a straw and then this girl's like, "Oh wow, where did you get that?" And she had a conversation with me, and Will is like, "Yo, damn,
keep dreaming, not happening."
That's how you pick up girls.
Ain't no girl gonna be turned on by your metal straw.
That's a shiny metal straw.
I need to use one like that too.
Like, hey baby, it's 10 inches.
You need a 10-inch metal straw.
Then you have your own big ass. If you're eating bubble tea, then now you got this girth. I got the girthiest.
You need to make a special straw for that, right?
Yeah. So now you got to carry 2 straws with you. You got to carry like a
If you go
a
get
thick
bubble
one
tea,
for bubble tea,
yeah.
and now you got to carry a small one for your regular stuff.
Yeah, that'd be weird. Yeah, or just have a big girthy one in general. Just
No, because how you gonna drink soda like that?
You can
You
drink
can't
soda
drink
like
soda with a big ass straw like that.
You can.
You want to drink soda like sippy wise. You don't want to fucking gulp something that's carbonated in your mouth. That's just overwhelming.
Or not use any straw with for soda. I've never.
I'm
used,
saying if you order like if you have McDonald's
Yeah.
or somewhere, you order like I don't know, like a number 3 and it comes with the drink.
Yeah.
And then you get a Coke or whatever, a Sprite. And then you just pump it in and you take a sip. And you got a big ass fucking straw and you're like, oh. And then you taking a sip like that.
Yeah, that's inconvenient. Yeah, that's
Well,
pretty.
here's
Come
the
on.
thing,
Yeah,
guys.
you take try drinking soda with a fucking with a fucking bubble tea straw.
Yeah, you might choke. You might choke on the
Don't forget,
carbonation.
like,
That
double
shit
the
gonna make
size,
your
ain't it?
eyes water and shit. You'll be like, yo, that's crazy air in my mouth, man. That's just too, you know what I mean? Because it's carbonated, so you're gonna get all this
Yeah,
extra
yeah.
air is gonna fuck your eyes
Yeah.
up. You ever drink soda too fast? Like you just like,
Oh yeah, I have.
shit.
Oh,
You're taking
man.
big ass gulps on
Yeah,
the like
too
just
much
drinking
air
it.
goes in there. It's like it fucks with your eyes, man.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
I don't know.
So drinking
man.
soda is going to be never the
Whoever,
same.
I'm telling you, that's a good business idea. If you can make it feel like plastic without it being damaging to the environment, bro, you're a winner. And it doesn't cost that much to manufacture.
Well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I think it's all about also our changing our behavior, right? It's a mindset. You say it's not. It might not be cool, but you
No,
know.
I'm not saying that it's cool. It's inconvenient.
Yeah.
And what's the biggest motivating factor for just a consumer? It's convenience.
People will adapt because when they first implemented the whole no plastic bags, and I bought stuff and they said, "Oh, we don't have a plastic bag, but you can purchase it." Blah blah blah, and I'm like, "Fuck, it's so inconvenient. I'm just gonna take it. I'm just gonna hold it to the car. I'm just gonna bring it
Don't
to the
you
car."
have brown bags?
The brown bags? Yeah, no, they'll let you purchase a brown bag. I saw it as inconvenient, but then I started bringing my own bags.
Your
And then, like,
psychology.
And then
changes.
I'm like using my own like reusable bags and putting my groceries in, and it's cool. Like you could bring a whole bunch of bags and then you bring it out. I don't know. I feel like I'm saving the environment. I feel good coming out of the supermarket.
Yeah.
You know.
Why is it detrimental to the environment, brown paper bags? It's not plastic.
Cutting trees, paper. Cutting more trees to create
But
paper
aren't
bags.
a lot of those bags used from recycled materials anyway?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's already using what's already out there. We're not cutting anything in addition, contributing to that factor.
Yeah, I think like
Is that a way for supermarkets to fucking save money or make additional money? Because a lot of times when a company tells you they're going green, it means we're saving money.
Well, of course. At the end of the day, so
We're just pushing the cost back on you. Help us go green.
at the end of the day, it goes to the consumer.
make you even if it is like saving costs for the company, but they're saving the
I
environment
just don't
in
understand
the process. then
how I
there's-
shop at your supermarket and you gonna charge me to carry my shit out.
Oh, you mean like when they charge you for someone to bring out your groceries to your car?
Well, here's
No,
the thing.
man, I'm talking about like paper bags. How they gonna charge you for paper bags? That's wild. I understand the plastic, like there should be a tax for fucking up the environment. I'm with you there. But if you're using recycled paper bags and you're charging me whatever you want to charge me, because today's a nickel, tomorrow's a dollar.
Well, here's the thing.
You know what I mean?
Those bags, the supermarkets, they don't make them. They get it from someone else. They're the one who does the recycling process. It costs them to recycle. So that cost goes to the supermarket, and the supermarket, gives
Yeah,
it
but
to
they
us.
already factored that in the cost, in the overhead cost of their store. It's already factored in.
So if they want, like,
They're already making a profit. They're just making a additional revenue stream.
yeah. So most businesses, some businesses, what they do is, your plastic bags, right? Plastic bags. It doesn't cost them because overall it's already factored in, like he says, but they don't want you to pay. But now we don't know how much exactly those brown bags cost them. It might be a certain amount that might be a little bit too much to be factored in.
It could be because it's a recycled product. It might cost
a little bit more.
You think it costs them 5 cents per paper bag?
You don't have to purchase it. It's an option.
You could bring your own bag.
I would rather them do this. Paper bags courtesy, right? Give an extra discount if you bring your own bag. You bring your own
So
bag,
you're saying give them an incentive to
right?
do so.
That's the right way to do it.
It's like, hey, we'll give you $1 off for bringing your own bag.
Whatever it is, give the discount for bringing your own bags. And then to the people that don't,
That's a good idea. That's actually.
the principle, but that just doesn't sit right with me. Yo, I went to your supermarket. You gonna charge me? I bought all this shit. How I'm supposed to carry this shit out?
First world problems.
I'm supposed
You
to.
know-
How much does it actually cost to print fucking cheap paper bags that fucking fall apart the moment you fucking carry them anyway?
I don't know. I don't see it as a big inconvenience. That's the thing with me. Is
So I
like,
think
I am not talking about inconvenience or convenience. I'm talking about
The
principle. Principle.
But
Principle.
in business, they don't care about that.
I'm talking about practice.
So let me
talking about practice.
Let me give you an example. Like, okay, you know, your
Oh,
cereal.
I forgot.
like
You guys don't listen to basketball. Sorry, that's an AI reference.
you guys know about your cereal.
You guys got it. You guys got it.
let us know.
No, so like you getting screwed in many different ways, and especially in the corporate world. So you know your cereal box, right? So before you, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but this is actually real. They put a certain amount of cereal in your cereal box, but remember when you open it, it's like really tiny.
It's like potato chips.
Yeah. So they've been doing this, putting less and less in your thing, but making the box look bigger and bigger.
Right.
So and you're paying almost more. You're paying more money, but at the same time, the company's saving so much more money. So they're actually making money off of you, but at the same time, not giving the amount that you think you're getting. So this has been happening legally, and then the corporate
Because they're
companies-
not doing anything illegal.
So like
They're
you
just
know,
playing mind games with you. Some Jedi shit. But here's the thing. That's why you got to look. If you're a smart shopper, I look at the net weight. It says net weight, 16 ounces or whatever, 32 ounces. And that's what I go by. With that, I could calculate like, all right, this is a pound. I'm getting a pound of chips. I'm getting 2 pounds of cereal. You know, and you're making me pay this much. So, of course, this much per pound. So that's really how I equate it.
That's
You
your
know?
opportunity cost. Well, you know.
It's crazy.
but that's the psychology of
mentality,
it. Yeah. When I first took an introduction to psychology, apparently there was a huge amount of money that was spent on how consumer behavior works, like how they buy. You know, I've also learned that all those little stuff they have right next to the cashier stand. You know, they
Oh, like the tchotchkes, the gum,
the gums, all
the
that
candy.
stuff. They realized by putting that, you could like, okay, yeah, it's right there. Why not? You'll just pick it. There's a word for it of that kind of buying.
Impulse buying?
Impulse buying, yeah. So and they found that out through those psychological research, right? So they did a huge back in the days. Like this is like 80, 90 years ago. They did all these research to get to where they are today.
I think it's a psychological thing about spending too much. Like I can't see myself like, oh, I see this shirt. I gotta spend like $100 on a t-shirt. That I don't. It just something stops me from doing that. Like it might be a cool shirt, fashion is, but with an artist that I really respect and I like the design, I still can't put myself in that situation
Bullshit.
where I'm going to spend that money.
I call bullshit on that, bro. Now you're going to try to make yourself sound super...
Depends.
No, I got to call you out on that. I'm sorry. No, because
Is there a specific thing
Yes,
that you're talking about?
you do spend money when you do like something. So
Is there a specific thing?
you bought that fucking man purse. That shit was...
Oh, the Ferragamo? The Ferragamo thing? Oh, because...
Come on, man, because you thought of having a purse.
Oh, no, that's a psychological thing
manly
too.
purse.
Like when I buy things when I'm on vacation. Like I splurge on myself.
No, but you were
So
you
that's
were already talking
understandable.
about like, hey guys, what do you think if I get a fucking man purse before your purchase? And then one day you showed up like, check it out, guys.
The Ferragamo checkbook wallet. It's not a man purse, bro.
on it, bro.
And besides, man purses are in right now. You know what I'm saying? People
I'm
bring
not
it.
knocking the
that's
man
what they all
purse.
say.
I'm not knocking the man purse. I'm just saying that you're willing to spend money if you feel like it's worth
On
it.
occasion. Yeah.
But
Not
you're
like,
making it sound like you
every
won't,
day I'm going.
you won't spend
buying Gucci
$100
and
on a
stuff.
t-shirt, but you'll spend $100 on a man purse. So that may be true, but you're still willing to spend $100 on something that you don't actually really need. You'll spend it on a want, but it's just our wants are different.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference, right? Our wants are different.
Like my motorcycle.
Again, so you're willing to spend on yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Once in a while.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with like if there's something that you want and you want to like reward yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. If now a cheapskate is like, you every little thing, every little penny
Penny crunch,
couponage
yeah.
or like coupon with extreme couponers, they just go the extreme level. I mean, but then you know what? That's what they're happy with, you know.
By the way, what kind of milk do you use on the coffee? Because I usually have it black.
It's actually oat milk.
Oh, oat milk. I love
Full
oat
fat.
milk. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a couple of variations of
Oat milk?
Yeah, if you look in my
Yeah.
fridge, I have there's 4 different oat milks that I have. There's a vegan.
Okay.
I have a vegan oat milk.
I
And
thought-
I like to use that for my cereal.
I thought all oat milk was vegan. If that's not true.
No, one is 100% pure vegan. That's what it says on the label. I
Yeah.
don't know. And it does taste different. One says it's full fat oat milk, and that's the one I love to use on my coffee.
Yeah. It's very
Because it
rich.
just makes it feel more complete when I'm drinking the coffee, right? If I do use milk, if I'm not drinking it black. And then there's another, like, I think it's like half fat, like it's like skim milk, but it's not as fatty. And I usually use a vegan or that with my coffee. With my cereal, if I do eat cereal. And then I have chocolate oat milk.
Oh, chocolate oat milk. Okay.
Yeah, and if you do want that mocha taste in your
Yeah.
coffee, you could kind of get that a bit. But my daughter loves chocolate milk, so I gotta.
Have you guys heard of cockroach milk?
Is that a real thing?
Cockroach milk, yeah. Scientists discovered this protein from the roaches, which is milk, that is 10 to 20 times better than your regular milk.
Like
In vitamins?
It's like
You're
in
talking like
vitamins and protein and everything.
compared to cow milk.
Yeah, compared to cow milk and every other milk.
Wait.
It's like a super milk.
Wait.
No, I'm serious.
A cockroach is a super
Are you-
super vitamin, a superfood.
Can you look that up real quick?
Yeah,
Cockroach
yeah,
milk?
that's
please.
crazy.
Wait,
So
wait.
scientists think in 50 years from
Time
now.
out. You're going too fast. I have questions. Cockroach. I need to understand before you proceed. I can't take in no more information. Hold on. Wait, this is new to me. Wait, cockroaches give off milk?
Yeah.
From
Yeah, I
where?
was when I was reading the article, I was like, "What?
Like
The
cockroach
cockroach gives out milk?"
They have like little teats. Like
I don't know about them,
because
but
any
they
mammal
produce milk. They produce
any
milk.
mammal that gives milk comes from their teat, right? So is it only a couple of questions? Is it only female cockroaches? And do they have? No, how can an insect have a teat? That doesn't even fucking make sense.
I don't think I got too much
Right?
detail on that, but they said the protein, the milk protein.
And is it actually milk?
Yeah, it's
in the
it's white.
traditional
Yeah,
sense?
it's white milk. Yeah. So they
Is
say
it blended with anything?
no, just straight up cockroach milk.
What? Wait,
I mean,
what are
they
you getting
could
on
they
this?
could blend it. I'm not, I guess if you want to.
It says humans can harvest this milk by killing a female cockroach and extracting it from their mid gut.
So it does derive from the female.
Yes, it does. And there's some analysis that show that cockroach milk is incredibly nutritious, providing plenty of carbs, fat, vitamins, minerals, protein, and all 9 essential amino acids. Holy
Hell
cow.
no.
It's a super milk, baby.
Holy
Wait,
cow.
so it must be incredibly expensive
Well,
for a gallon or a liter?
I,
Because how many cockroaches do they need to kill? First, you have to check if it's female, and then you have to kill. And I have to presume
You could
that
artificially
each
create it.
cockroach is just a little drop.
they might not have to get it from the roach itself. They could artificially create it. They could.
What do you mean?
You could gene splice it the way they make it. You could gene splice it.
Again, that doesn't sound cheap.
Well, I see. Here's the thing. It's all about scaling it, right? So once you
And where
scale
can
it,
one purchase cockroach milk?
they said it's not yet available, but they eventually will be available, and it's going to be because our population is growing so much that we might end up, I don't know, maybe 2050, end up
what
drinking
else?
cockroach milk.
What else do you have on chocolate milk?
Chocolate milk.
I'm sorry, cockroach milk.
Well, it says that it's probably a good chance that you can't currently buy cockroach milk. So it's still I think under study right now.
Preliminary studies shows that
Preliminary
it's a super milk
Oh, it says it
That's-
produces all these vitamins, proteins, and
that are
amino
superior
acids.
to cow milk.
It didn't say superior. It produces those types of vitamins
Is
as similar as dairy.
But yeah, it was just like I was shocked. Like what?
Would you drink it? Would you guys fuck with that?
I never know.
I
man.
will try the alternative to oat milk. I'm good with that because I actually prefer oat milk over any dairy.
I never
It's
had
good.
oat milk.
Oat milk is delicious, man. I just brewed some coffee, and you have to try. Or you drink coffee, right?
Yeah, I
you
drink
made me
coffee.
coffee at your house before. Yeah, I have to give you a cup of coffee with oat milk, and then you just tell me what you think.
Or it
'Cause
could
I
be I
didn't.
never try it again.
When I got introduced to oat milk, I didn't like it in a latte. That's why I was real hesitant on oat milk. When I first had it, was in a latte. This girl bought it for me. She was like, "Oh, I got you a latte with oat milk. You gotta try it." And I took a sip. I was like, "Oh, that's just way too much like lard or whatever." It just felt really fatty. It just didn't sit well. But when you just put the right amount into a cup of coffee, it's a game changer.
Oh,
It's a game changer. But you can't put like all that into an espresso shot, a couple of espresso shots. It just to me is just.
Joel, you were really close. It says cockroach milk boasts 4 times as much protein as cow's milk, and it's packed with amino acids.
Yo, I'll
So
try that shit. If it tastes good,
Yeah, if it tastes like regular milk, right?
yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah, listen, I mean, the way our population is growing, they also have organic meat.
I just wouldn't be the first one. Like it has to be out for like at least a year, where people are like
4th generation cockroach milk.
No, I gotta see. People are
People
fucking
don't
getting
try
weird
it.
diseases. from that
Non-GMO,
shit. Yeah,
non-GMO.
no artificial stuff like overall, but I think that's the
farmed.
direction we're headed either ways, because if we're
What, cockroach milk as the future?
yeah, why not?
You wildin'.
Why not? They got
That shit- I don't
meat
s-
that is created in the lab without actual animals. So
I'm not arguing meat in a lab.
No.
I agree there. I think that is the future, right? I think there's a huge market for meat that's raised and created in a lab. But cockroach milk, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, that said, I think it's a good time to wrap it up on cockroach milk. Joyel,
Delicious.
awesome. Thank you for coming by. It's good
Thanks
catching
for
up with you.
having me,
Haven't
as
seen
usual.
you in months.
Thank you for
And,
introducing us to cockroach milk.
Yeah.
the liquid beverage of the future. Thank you.
it's my honor to share all the abundant information
Yes, us
that I
and-
come across.
us and our listeners will probably look forward on trying some of that when it does come to the markets.
I'll let you know how it tastes.
Yeah. Anyway, this is Lucky Boys Podcast. Thank you guys for listening.
Lucky boys out.